Hello, JCC Yogis. This is Lisa. I'm coming from the Jewish Community Center. Happy to be here with you and presenting a little bit of not a gentle yoga class, but a little bit of a yoga vignette. So this is going to be about 20 minutes, 25 minutes here. And we're going to be focusing on releasing a lot of tension in the upper body. So a lot of times we have a lot of tension from driving, texting, or maybe you're just stressed out right now and you hold your attention like the rest of us in your upper body. So this can be a standalone sequence. You can just do this, click this on anytime that you feel you need a release. This is something you could do before a yoga flow class, so you can add this on to another class. This could be something you do after a yoga flow class, especially if you feel really tense or after a workout. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this. So first thing is you're probably at home. We're going to need either a block, a foam roller, it could be a ball, a pillow that you roll up, or a blanket that you roll up, something that we can lay down on. And this may seem a little bit odd to you, but we're going to use one. Okay. So options here are to take the block high and horizontal, or you can take it high and vertical on your spine. So that's kind of your choice. Feel free at any time to pause and try it out and see what feels right to you. If it's too much, you can lower the block. I'm going to take it high and vertical right now, or high and horizontal. So this is a little bit different than what you see sometimes in like a restorative class, restorative fish pose. It's a little bit like restorative fish pose, but we're going to use a little bit of our own weight. So we're going to come down onto that block, and it's going to be right below the shoulder blades. I'm going to try to best I can to keep this mic in place. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. So if it's horizontal, it's right below the shoulder blades, just below kind of the chest area. A lot of times we have a second block that we lean back on. This time I want you to take your hands behind your head and clasp your hands behind your head and create a little bit of a cradle here. So you got to find a little bit of a comfortable position. So what I'm trying to replicate is almost like you're able to let go and rest. If some of you have ever had a massage, you've had a massage therapist hold your head at the end, feels so good. So you create a nice little cradle right here and release your fingers tight. So you're able to rest the weight of your head back into your hand. For this one, we're going to bring those elbows in just to kind of spread a little bit in the upper back, the scapula. Maybe even your chin into your chest to begin with. Take a nice easy breath in, and as you exhale, let the weight of your head rest in your hands. Elbows continue to come together, and you can kind of just find your comfortable spot. Now we're going to start to take the chin a little bit more towards the ceiling, and again, the elbows come together, and take another exhale, head rest back, right? Then the chin kind of comes back a little bit more. At some point, you're about level here, and you want a little bit of space in between your chin and your chest, but drop your head back to the most comfortable level. Maybe you're staying up here, maybe you're dropping low. As you drop low, you might even start to open the elbows a little bit. So it's really exhale, let go. Let that head be heavy. So we're starting to open into the chest here. Inhale, exhale, drop it back just a little bit more. You do not have to drop it all the way back. And then maybe you want to squeeze your elbows together again. And you can even do a little bit of traction, bring your chin into your chest for another breath or two here. So this is something that you can kind of fiddle with on your own. The more that you do this, the more comfortable and confident you will become. All right, so we want to be there for just a little bit. Slowly come up, bending your elbows, forearm onto the mat, and come into a comfortable seat. We're going to take that block off to the side. So find a nice comfortable seat. Cross-legged pose, can be kneeling. You can even do the sequence standing if you prefer. So we're going to open a little bit more of that space in the back before we open the chest. We're going to take cactus arms right here. So bending at your elbows and start to draw your elbows a little bit away from each other. Belly pulls in, try to relax your face and your neck. Good. So this is going to be counterintuitive here. We're going to squeeze. So we're going to take elbows together, pinkies together, almost like eagle arms. I'm trying to create a little bit here so you can still see my face. You're not too far blocked. But we want to squeeze those elbows and pinkies together and then lift the elbows a little bit. So you're really pressing. I'm using some muscle here. Belly pulls in, elbows are away from your body and up. Now see if you can press elbows together and separate your wrists. This is a lot of work right here. You're really building some muscles here in the chest, spreading in the back. Let's take one more breath here. And then on the exhale, pinkies together, open it back up, right? Cactus arms. Belly pulls in. So we want the rib cage to be down and maybe a little bit in. And the elbows pull apart. This time, elbows and wrist are back, stretching into the chest. Good. One more, or actually, we're going to do this sequence two more times, a little bit quicker. Elbows together, elbows up. I'm pressing and squeezing. I'm pulling my elbows away from my body and now separating the wrists. And I'm trying as best as I can to squeeze those elbows together, pinkies together, and then open back up. Shoulder blades together and down, belly pulls in. One more time, elbows, pinkies together. Elbows want to drop down, bring them back up and forward, and wrists separate. Squeeze, 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 elbows up and forward, and then open it back up, shoulder blades together and down, open the heart and chest, and then go ahead and release and relax and kind of unwind that out a little bit. That's kind of warming up a little bit for an eagle pose, which we're going to take now. Shoulders roll back, inhale, arms up, shoulders remain soft. Take your arms out. We're going to take right elbows. This is my right elbow because I'll get confused if not. Together, and then grab what you can. So either it's going to be shoulders, hands, whatever feels good to you. If you can get wrists, even better. We're going to bring elbows up again, elbows forward again, squeeze the forearms together. Now, pay attention to this next one. I have got my right elbow on top. I'm going to tilt my hands to my right. All right. So you got to figure that out. Right arm on top, hands and forearms to the right. Elbows stay up, and now my left ear is going to drop to my left shoulder. Now I'm stretching the outside of my right shoulder blade. Right? So we're kind of tick-tocking. For those of you that have been coming to my flow classes, I do this, I incorporate this. Take a nice easy breath in, elbows stay up and forward, and exhale, continue to drop your ear down, chin is neutral. One more breath. And then bring everything back to center. And we're going to release those arms to shake it out. So this is a little bit of work, but it's a huge release. Shoulders roll back, inhale, arms up, shoulders soft, out to a T. Now left elbow on top of right. Cross what you can. Belly pulls in, and then elbows are going to lift up and forward. So this is a beautiful little eagle pose, but it's active. We want to squeeze those forearms together. This is very energizing. Then tick tock, you don't have to go a lot, just a little bit, tilt to the left. Left elbow on top, tilt to the left. Right ear drops to the right shoulder. Soften your shoulders, elbows up and forward. And then as best as you can, try to relax for 2 to 3 breaths. So this is stretching and you're pulling those elbows forward, a deep, deep stretch here. Slowly come back to center, release again. That's a lot of energy. So relax it back out, let it go. Good. We're going to rotate onto hands and knees here. Tabletop position, wrist underneath shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and just a few little cat cows to unwind. So tilting the tailbone up, arching the back a little bit, and then really exhale again, stretching into that upper back, into a cat pose. Hold it here. So in this cat pose, press your palms down into the mat a little bit and kind of pull the wrist or pull the palms away from each other. So like you're separating the yoga mat. And that right there is going to spread the scapula. Breathe into the upper back, belly pulls in. Come back to your center. We're going to either walk the knees back or walk your hands forward and coming into puppy pose or half down dog. I like to curl my toes under for support. Walk your hands forward. So we're not going to come all the way down like we usually do on this one. We're going to stay lifted through the arms. Spread your fingers. Good. Belly pulls in, shoulders are relaxed, neck is long. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my left palm to the middle of the mat. I'm going to take my right hand on top of the left, really ground down and pull back. Elbows are lifted, and then I've got the mic on, so I don't know if I can do this, but if you can, start to drop your head down and really active arms here. So you're kind of keeping those hips lifted, pulling back. Arms are strong. Maybe your forehead goes to the mat here. Good. So keeping those arms strong, can you slowly lift your head back up and then move your rib cage just a little bit to the right? Nope, sorry, to your left. That's it. So the arms are strong, pushing down, and now you're just going to move slightly. You may not even move. Good. So again, another big stretch in the side of that left deltoid. Coming back to center and release. Walk your hands back in tabletop. Inhale, a little bit of a cow pose. Arching the back just a moment. Shoulder blades together and down. Exhale, really ground down into your cat. Chin to your chest. You can curl toes under or press toes down. And then again, palms press into the mat and pull apart. Breathe. Coming back to our center, walk your hands forward. I like to curl my toes under. You can stay in puppy. You can always come down if you prefer that. For this one, I'm going to take my right hand down. I'm really going to activate my arm and press back. Left hand's going to go on top, and I'm going to press both hands down. Press back, hips are back. Arms stay active, and then maybe my head threads in between my arms. Maybe my forehead comes down for just a breath or two here. Keep arms and elbows active, pressing back. And then slowly lift your head up and then gently go to the right. You can even take that left hand out for a little support. That was kind of helpful to me. So you're really stretching the right side a little bit. You don't have to move much. Breathe. Just one or two breaths here. And then slowly come back to your center. Walk your hands back underneath you. We're going to walk our hands a little bit forward, curl your toes under, and lift your hips up and back into a gentle down dog. So you can always stay in a child's pose, a puppy pose. You can skip this down dog. Your at-home practice needs to be curtailed for you. So we're going to really soften that neck here. Pedal the knees out. Just relax. Good. So we're going to feel a stretch here on the back side of the body. We're taking this into a lunge. However you can, right foot's going to step forward in between your hands. So finding a nice low lunge here might feel good to give it a little bit of a rock. If you've got blocks at home, you can always take your 2 blocks underneath you and lift yourself up. We're just stretching a little bit. Eventually, we're going to rock forward and then wiggle the left toes back and release that left knee down. So options here. We're going to inhale, arms coming up into a little bit of a low lunge. Now, if at any time it's too much for your knee, you've got a blanket, put something under there. Again, you can do the same sequence, a little bit more active crescent warrior. Your choice here. We're going to stretch a little bit diagonally. All right. So arms are going to come up right here. And then I want you just for a moment to lift your hips up and back a little bit. You can curl the left toes under or press the top of the foot down. Belly pulls in, tailbone lengthens down. Come a little bit more forward. Okay, so I really want you active, squeezing that left glute, belly pulls in. This is another active stretch. So it's not a yin stretch where we relax into it. We're really activating. Left arm's going to go up high, and imagine that you're pressing the ceiling up. So you're trying to lift the ceiling up. Right fingers around your left wrist. So this is a lot of work. We're going to raise that left arm up and then cross it back into your right diagonally. Good. So we're finding a diagonal active stretch. Left glute is strong, belly pulls in. You could take your right hand to your hip and really press the roof up. Good. Maybe about 2 more breaths here. Lift your heart, belly pulls in. It is super strong and active. 1 more breath. And hands come to the mat. Curl your left toes under, and then we're just going to send the hips back for a moment. You can even slide your right foot back. Good. You can have your knee dropped if you need to. 1 more breath. And then slowly come back to center. We're going to take that right foot back, down dog, or wherever you wherever you want, like a symmetrical pose to hold for a moment. Take a nice easy breath in. Really exhale that tension out. Left foot comes forward. So you might want to rock back and forth maybe 3 to 5 times just to kind of loosen up a little bit. So yes, this is a lower body stretch, but it's also an upper body and the whole body stretch. Eventually, we're coming into our lunge. I like to wiggle my right toes back and release down. Squeezing the right glute. Inhale, coming up. Arms can come up if you like, or hands to your hips. So we're going to take those hips up and back. You can also do this in crescent warrior. Belly pulls in. I'm going to sink those hips a little bit forward, and then right arm goes high. On this one, I'm going to keep my left hand on my hip just to show you another possibility. So I'm going to raise the roof up. Belly's going to pull in. So now my right arm's up. And now I'm going to take it back into the left. So it's a diagonal to the back left corner of the mat. Inhale, feel that reach, belly pulls in. Exhale, hips a little bit forward. And we're really strong. Right glute, belly pulls in. 2 more breaths right here. We're holding this active stretch. Left heel presses down and back to activate 1 more. And then hands come to the mat. You can either curl the right toes under, lift up, send the hips back, or you can stay knee down. Just a little hamstring stretch. Maybe shift your weight a little bit to the left. Take a deep breath in. Let that all go. We're going to rock it back forward. Right knee lifts. This time, right foot steps forward, forward fold. So feet can be nice and wide. Bend your knees, belly to your thighs. We're going to reach back now, interlace your fingers. And if you can, take your knuckles up and over, chin to your chest. So I don't want the headset to fall off of me. So I don't know that I'm going to do this completely. But I want you as best as you can to maybe squat down, chin to your chest, and then pull the shoulders back. Take a few breaths right here. Let your chin drop into your chest. Maybe shift your weight forward. You can even sway side to side. After your last exhale, release your arms. Bend your knees and ragdoll on up. Shoulders roll over your hips, so now you're at the top of your mats. Right? So a little bit of a mountain pose right here. Shoulders are going to roll back, palms are forward. Spreading your toes nice and wide. Belly pulls in. Find a little bit of ground. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. So shoulders are going to roll back. Inhale, arms raising up. We're going to exhale, arms come back behind you. Interlace your fingers back behind your back. All right. Now, if you're at home and that's not a good you're not quite able to grasp, you can take a strap. Feel free to find what you can. All right. So now instead of palms pressing together, we're going to separate our wrists and our palms, almost like you're creating a little bit of a stirrup. Elbows separate, belly pulls in. Good. Now you're going to take those pinkies back and then keep separating. Good. And then now start to press your palms together, maybe knuckles pull back. Imagine somebody's behind you and they're pulling you back, and you're going to shift your weight a little bit forward. Lift your heart up. Feel free to close your eyes here. Take a beautiful breath in and a really deep breath all the way out, maybe even through your mouth. Keeping your arms here, bend your knees and come forward fold yet again. Release your arms, dangle down. Nod your head yes and shake your head no. Very good. Hands are going to come to the mat yet again. Step your feet back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it all the way out. Release your knees to the mat. Find a nice easy child's pose, knees out wide, big toes together. Rest your forehead down for a moment. Upper body, let's take this to a twist. Right, walking your hands over to the right. Feel that length on the left side. If it feels good to you, you're going to sweep your left arm underneath your right. So your left palm is up towards the sky. And maybe take your head down. I've got this headset on. You can take that block you used earlier and rest your head onto the block. So this is what it would look like on the left. I'm going to take that block here. I am not used to this. The headset, I'm not going to risk that. I'm keeping my head lifted. You relax your head back down. Good. So we really want to pull that left hip back. You can even take your right hand on top of your left. This is going to feel really good. And pull the left arm out to the right. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Right hand comes down and sweep that left arm. And then we're going to walk back through center and over to your left. So feel free to hold right here, really stretching into the right side body. Feel free to take this into your twist. Right arm sweeps underneath you. Right shoulder down. Right head comes down. So the microphone is not in my way. I can drop my head down. Maybe the left hand goes on top of the right and really kind of pull your knuckles a little bit to the left. Pull your right hip back. Left palm comes down. Coming back through center, back into a tabletop. Curl your toes under. One more time, downward facing dog. We're going to take a lunge on the both sides yet again. So if you like, you could take right leg lifts and step it forward. So options here again. You can take this up into a high lunge, crescent warrior, or you can keep that knee drop down. Either way, and release those fingers behind your back. Shoulders relax back, knuckles come down, belly pulls in. Feel those shoulders coming back, lift your heart. Maybe the knuckles come down to the inside of your left knee. Sorry about the awkward of this. Hopefully you guys can hear me. All right, you continue to do that. Come back to center. This is my first time with the mic, so thank you for being patient. And then we're going to release the hands to the mat and step right foot back, downward facing dog, or you can take child's pose, or just hands and knees, a few cat-cows. Left leg lifts, left foot steps forward, and either rise up into crescent warrior or you can stay low into a low lunge. Either way, release your arms behind you. Now, maybe opposite thumb on top. So, usually my right is on top. Take your left thumb on top. Maybe your knuckles go back, maybe your knuckles go down. Maybe sink into the hips a little bit here and then lift your heart and your chest. I wish that this was glued to my head. So your upper body, your fingers are interlaced, but your upper body is going to lift up and back and feel that open space. So I'm not going as far as I could. And then slowly release. Hands to the mat. Step it back, downward facing dog. One more time. Nod your head yes and shake it no. Release your knees to the mat. Good. All right, so we're going to end this with a twist. So legs are out in front of you, and this one I can mirror you. So you're going to take your right foot and step it up onto the mat. Your right foot's going to come up and over your left, and your left toes are peeling back nice and strong, hugging in. Right hand comes back behind you. Feel free to stay here, or you can take your left arm up and then cross it over. So this is just a little bit, again, a little different for your upper body. So a lot of times in this twist, we teach you to roll that left shoulder back and lift your heart. But what I want you to do on this one is bend the left elbow. And then I want you actually to take your palm kind of facing in, chin into your chest, and round almost like a cat. And then we're going to use a little bit of that leverage in the elbow, lift your hand up, and then that left shoulder blade is going to peel back and open. So do that a few times. Inhale and exhale right here. Don't worry so much about your neck. I'm kind of looking at you. You can look to the side, you can look forward or back, and just do this maybe a little bit slower. So you're really stretching the back side. And now for the last time, we're going to come up into our twist. So really take that left shoulder blade down and lift your heart up and then maybe gaze back. You can straighten your arm if you like. Now, if you want a little bit stretch on the neck, which I honestly could do a half hour just on the neck, if you want a different stretch, then you're going to take your chin over your left shoulder. Now we have a tendency to drop our head forward. We want to lift up, chin comes back, find length on your neck. One more breath. You can also look back and then slowly unwind and release. So that was a big twist. So you want to kind of find center and now left foot comes up and over. So nice flex at the right ankle, left hand behind you, right arm goes high and cross the body. So kind of take a moment here, feel anchored down. And then you can bend the elbow. And so you're going to kind of like use your arm to connect with the scapula and the shoulder blades on the back, right? So kind of round down and feel that stretch as you round like a little bit of a cat. And then like a little bit of a cow pose, you're going to take that wrist back, lift your heart, and kind of dig a little bit of that scapula. Like kind of dig back and lift. And then do that maybe 2 or 3 more times. Inhale and exhale. Again, a lot of these things, they're not easy. They're a little counterintuitive. But hopefully at the end, you're like, wow, what a release. So next time you're rounded, use a little bit of leverage, shoulder rolls back, lift your heart. You can stay elbow bent or straighten your arm. You can lift your heart and look back, or maybe even rotate chin over your right shoulder. So my chin juts out. I want my chin lifted up and back towards my head. Good. And just maybe 2 more breaths here. And then keep rolling the right shoulder back and open. and then very slowly unwind from that right there. Good. All right. So we're going to extend our legs forward. And I think I am out of time. Yes. Shake it out. So it ended up being about a half hour here. Shake it out a little bit. And we're going to cross our legs and just come into a little bit of a forward fold. So walking your hands forward, drop your head down, nod your head yes, shake it no. Really let go. So my friends, that concludes today. You can stay in your forward fold. You can roll back down or roll down onto your mat and find yourself in a shavasana for a few minutes. Uh, Honestly, there's so much more that I could add to this. Uh, but hopefully, with that a little bit, you've got a stretch not only in the chest and the front side, which we need a lot, but you got a huge stretch in the back. And a lot of times, the back side is so tight, it doesn't allow the front side a good stretch. So it's good to kind of get them both in. I hope you enjoyed that for today, and namaste.